So I need to ask, did you go home because you didn't feel well, or was it a bathroom thing?
I mean, it's both. I didn't feel well in that I was having intestinal distress.
Dealt with now?
Well, yeah, I might go see a doctor.
Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Yeah. Do you know what? I want to take that one more time. Except I want to work in Canadian Podcast Award winner.
Oh, that's right, baby. We are the winningest.
We told you.
Yeah. And we were proven mostly correct.
Generally. Some kind of one of three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
still
one more than none.
Still, we won.
Yeah, we fucking won. Oh my God.
We were recognized in a peer voted award
as an arts-based podcast.
Not for comedy.
No.
They were like, oh, they're not funny.
No. But God, did they really represent art.
No, nor are they leisurely.
No. My favorite part of that whole night, though, was how unbelievably sincere everybody else's acceptance speeches were.
Yeah.
And then ours came up.
Yeah. Well, I also like
on the YouTube comments?
Well, yeah, there was a YouTube comment I really enjoyed from the Sonar Network, which is based in Toronto.
Yeah.
That when we won, that was like, woo, way to go, Dr. DC. Glad you won. We were worried about what your fans would do if you didn't. And
it's the most honest thing I've ever heard.
Love the vibe we've put out there.
100%. Absolute chaos machines.
Oh, I love that. We're disruptors.
Yeah, in the tech world.
Yeah. This is us pitching a venture capitalist to fund our podcast.
Yeah, we are going to disrupt your thing.
We're disrupting like the A to B audio engagement space.
God, I mean, that sounds so good.
Listen, I'm a writer.
I'm buying it.
But yes, thank you everyone that also tuned in with us and
that was fun.
Supportive and fun. That was a good time. It was lovely. We fucking won, which means we could do anything. We could do whatever the fuck we want.
More importantly, you have to do what we say.
Yeah. Starting now.
Yeah. It's new rule.
Which of you gets to do our laundry?
Oh, that's the best you could come up with?
Listen, I'm busy.
Send us your comics.
Yeah.
They're ours now. This is, what's that thing where you get to fuck someone's wife before they get married?
Prima Nocta?
Yeah, this is Prima Nocta, but
this is
comic.
Prima Comica?
Yeah.
We're invoking the right of Prima Comica. Oh, yeah. And we have a whole store's worth. We could do that. Bruno.
Yeah. Give him up.
We're invoking Prima Comica on Bruno's store. What an insane.
Yeah.
I love that.
We get to fuck your comics before you do.
Yeah. Before you do. You definitely do.
Yeah.
But we get to do it first.
Yeah, exactly. You get to fuck it for a lifetime. We just get to do it first. That's what it is, right? That's what we were.
Feels like we picked the lonelier road.
Because we've never done that before.
Yeah. What? Yeah. What do you mean? We're podcasters.
We're podcast winners.
Podcast award winners.
That's right. Speaking of being the best, we've got a review.
Yeah. Woo!
A 5-star review, number 127, from Cinema Chatter Podcast on Cinema Chatter Podcast.
Yeah. They dedicated a whole episode.
Holy shit.
So our Doxcordians know this, but the Cinema Chatter Podcast, that's Ryan the Prime.
Yeah.
And his partner.
That's right.
Who, bless her,
deals with him.
Deals with him.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. You're listening to our show. We all of you, we know what kind of people you are.
Yes.
So bless all of your partners for putting up with all of you.
But you don't get, like, there was a cum man and, like, his way that he, like...
It's funny if you listen to 400 hours of it.
They did a whole episode but without planning anything, and it was all a story about Alfred killed
It
the
was
parents.
so fucking funny.
You
But
just-
you also have to listen to like episode 80
Yeah.
and 82 and 83. to get,
Canonically,
like,
that's the first time they showed up.
yeah, but then you can go and flip over. Like, okay, I feel like you don't understand what's funny about Ukrainian Popeye.
This sounds like the episode of Cinema Chatter podcast.
That's not true. Wow. No.
Hold on.
Well, this is where I was going with this. Kudos to Ryan the Prime and his partner,
Yes.
who are parents who run this podcast where they
Yes.
review movies and all sorts of stuff, but they dedicated an episode to talk about us, which was lovely and very nice. But my goodness, difficult to juggle with a child. I certainly understand that. That's why I leave my house once a week
No.
and come here and do that. I guarantee,
Mhm.
I guarantee on the day that there's a child in this house, the vibe of this podcast is going to change drastically because all of a sudden we're going to be like volume correcting from us talking like this because you don't want to wake the baby. You gotta,
Oh no, baby! I'm cranking it to 10. This baby's gonna have to deal with it. I'm
oh,
gonna put the baby in a soundproof
it's
room.
cute that you think you get to tell the baby what to do.
Yeah, it's the whole point of being a parent. Is being able to be in charge.
You sweet summer child.
No, I'll just put the.
You'll never make a decision on your own again.
I make all the decisions.
That's not even true now.
I know. Yeah, you met my wife. I know where I stand.
But it was very lovely. So yeah, go
Yes.
check out the Cinema Chatter podcast. Check out all their episodes, but there is an episode specifically about us.
And probably the best work.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm feeling down, I just listen to other people talk about us.
Yeah, it's great. It's the
Yeah.
best part. Thank you very much,
Yes,
Ryan,
lovely.
and your partner who deals with that.
Oh, goodness.
Shut up! Shut the baby up! I'm talking about comic books. You don't stop paying attention to the child. Pay attention to this podcast about a thing I like. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Babies don't understand, man. They don't get priorities.
I know. I'm just looking at my stack of comics right now.
Yeah, I know. This is why I've signed you up for book club. Book club, sign up on our Patreon.
Yeah, I like that.
Patreon.com/Dr. DC. You join the Doc Squad. There's a twice a month book club. And knowing that this was coming eventually, and he just needs a little push to get him going.
Yeah.
Richard is reading so many comics lately that I've signed him up to be the first book club of October is what when
I'm sorry,
that'll-
what month?
Oh, sorry. October. Ooh,
Ho, ho, ho. Happy Doctober. Ching, 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 ching. Ching, 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 ching. Ching, ching, ching. That's right. It's the most
There's gotta
wonderful
be
time
a
of the year.
Different way you can sing that sound.
Sorry. Chung, chung, chung.
No, that's
No?
not it.
Oh. Wing, wang, wang.
Jesus Christ.
What? Is that bad?
They're gonna revoke our award.
Welcome to Bwong Doctober.
Good Lord.
But not today, because that's a month away.
That's right. Yeah, now it's just September.
September.
No, it's just September.
Do we not have a thing for September?
We don't need a thing for every.
Feels like we do lately.
No, we don't. We're spacing things out.
Hmm.
We had prescribed reading month in April.
Reading.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun.
I know. I want to do that every month. It's fun.
It wasn't like a theme, but March this year was the month of too many guests.
Oops, all guests.
Yeah. We had Fanagar in June, of course. Nothing in July. August is Eatgist on the Patreon.
Yeah, but it's really
but not the main feed.
Yeah,
it's
but it's a-
Eatgist in our hearts.
exactly.
September, blank slate.
Yeah.
Then we got October,
hmm
November,
November is prep for.
blank slate / prep.
Yeah.
And then it's Docmas.
You still are pushing me for this Doc Miss
And-
plan, and that's not what I want.
Yeah, I want 12 of the drink you made me during Eatgist. The Kraken rum and the fucking charcoal and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want 12 of that for Docmas.
I mean, you can have that on top of the thing that we're doing.
I probably will.
Cool. I don't know why I'm fighting. I mean, it's a thing that you like that I did. I guess I should be happy with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
I don't
have
know
that
why
emotion.
this is such a struggle. Also, I think I pitched it or said it on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast maybe last week. But this coming February, I think will be a full-on thirst month.
Oh, yes. This is the step on my neck.
Yeah, the themes I've come up with for episodes so far are Step on My Throat,
Yeah.
Dad Ass, which would be a Nightwing episode.
What's the step on my throat one?
all of the women that could kick the shit out of me.
Oh. I just recently started.
And then the other theme that I came up with was I just called it "Forgive Me, Zother."
I'm finding something out about myself. I mean, I guess it's not really finding it out, but more just like further proving something. That I found myself onto this TikTok, this whole like side of TikTok right now, of basically just like very like cold women who are like, hey, you piece of shit. Like,
I mean, you're this close to just looking up like humiliation porn.
It's like they put on sunglasses and are just like, I don't have fucking time for you. And I'm like, yeah, you don't.
Oh my god.
I'll show it to you. It's a problem.
I don't know that I can.
Just like
handle that.
abrasive redheads. Like, I know. It's become a real problem.
Oh, good lord.
I'm like, if they were in a fucking like a business outfit.
Oh, they really give us the what for.
Yeah. It's a problem.
Yeah, I could see that being a problem for me.
Yeah, it's
At
sort of.
any rate, stay tuned in February
Yeah, who
for the
knows?
Step on My Throat episode of Dr. D. Dash will turn off the podcast.
We're award winning.
Yeah. We could do anything now.
There
We
has
can do anything with impunity.
there's been a fun conversation that you and I have been having to have, which is we should talk about this award from a business standpoint because
Right. Yeah. We've been having the conversation of we should celebrate that we won the award.
yeah,
Because it demonstrates industry respect
yes,
of our and acknowledgement of our podcasting abilities and what we're putting out there. And that you and I then, as contributions to the business,
yes,
could provide audio recording, podcast, workshops, promotions, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. That we have the expertise and the know-how, and we are award winners.
as a marketing agency, it makes a lot of sense.
And I fully agree in that way.
yeah,
But I've been really struggling with how do we as a business promote that we as professionals make something this bad.
when someone's just like, ooh, I want to hire them
Because,
to like represent my
can
organization.
you imagine like an architect firm in town? It's like we could like bring people into our process, like do a little
Start a podcast.
and they go and they listen to this and they just hear us talk about how we get off to bossy women. Like we can't do that. That's not okay.
Where it's a real conundrum.
I'm having a real crisis. I mean, like, it's the heart of my job is to try and find things to promote about us as a business. And this thing has gone so well, and I cannot promote it. It's the craziest situation for me to be in at work.
It's been really fun.
Because you pitched it to me, and I was like, I want to, but... And you were like, I think it's a good idea. I was like, you don't have to sell me, but you must also understand why I'm hesitating.
I mean, I do. I don't think people are as willing to.
Also, if any of the Yukon government ministers are listening, welcome. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're also progressive.
We're very progressive. We're so progressive that we
Want women to dominate us.
that we want all of that. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have thigh-high boots and a business degree? We're talking to you.
Yeah. 100%.
See, now we've made it worse, I think, actually, because now when this comes out, by the time I've promoted it, they'll listen to this episode, and I've dug way too deep of a hole here. I can't be in any meetings anymore.
They're like, hey, I recognize that voice.
That's the guy that gets off to bossy women in a town full of badass, entrepreneurial, upstart, like management women.
Yeah, we have more like women in power here than anywhere else I've ever
Which
lived.
is incredible.
Yeah.
And right up our alley.
Yeah, I know. Kind of wish I showed up here single. I love my wife, but I mean...
Oh, God. Well, this is just another week I can't Ugh.
It's definitely a buyer's market up here. Anyways, speaking of things that will eventually be illegal, Law and Order.
Yeah, boo.
Boo those things.
Cops. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we're not just cops, though.
Yeah, ACAB, baby.
Talking about lawyers.
Oh, they're great. Lawyers, everyone loves a lawyer.
As much as they like marketing people and advertising people. Yeah, I know. Welcome.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? Just, they're all just haters.
Yeah. All marketers are bad. AMAB.
So this week we were talking about the people behind law.
Has anybody made like a fun shirt of like real kind of progressive person like disarming and defunding the police, but he's a sailor and it's Captain ACAB?
No, but that's a joke for you.
Yeah. And his white whale is a better distribution of public funds.
It's actually a diversity whale. So yes, this episode we are talking about the people behind Law and Order, the cops, the lawyers, the judges,
like actual like Law and Order TV show.
Dum, dum.
The enforcement and like the litigation. We're talking about cops and lawyers, to put it bluntly.
Yes.
Of the DC universe. The people that are sometimes highlighted depending on the character, but sometimes very forgotten because we're talking about people with magic rings and like Speed Force.
To put it bluntly, we're talking about pigs and scum.
We just got a cease and desist.
Oh. By who?
Chris Chan.
Oh yeah, there's always one good one, right? One good apple. Yeah.
One good apple ripens the bunch.
That's what they say.
Right? This is an episode I've wanted to do for a while.
Yeah.
But then like,
the
last time that I had it, like sometimes I plan episode themes like
advance.
a few months in advance, and I had planned it, and like I looked at where it was planned, and it was like we were coming up to it, and it was like when things were really going badly, and I was like, bad time.
Like all the George Floyd stuff was
probably
happening.
Good for SEO, but bad time. And I was like, let's not do this.
You're hurting me now. Now I'm like,
Well, this is the angel and devil on my shoulder.
It's just like, come on, it'll get the numbers up.
But we got so many questions for this. We actually had to split it into 2 parts.
Holy shit. People had a lot to say.
So we're going to do some questions this week. If you don't hear your question, tune in 2 weeks from now when the second part of this airs.
And if you don't hear
because
it,
next week we have a guest for a different episode.
Yeah.
So
if you don't hear it the week after that, it was
bad.
Then
it was because it was a shitty
question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, if you ever are wondering, like, why did my question get on?
It's because
it was a bad question.
We're podcast award winners.
Yeah. We have to sift through the mud to get to the.
And as you know, famously, all of our content is gold and doesn't hurt us professionally.
No.
So
we need to keep it that way. So everybody shut your mouth. Don't tell anybody of any importance about the show. So, Law and Order. Why don't we get to some questions?
Dum 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 dum.
Dum, 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 dum. Wah, wah, wah.
Dum 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 dum.
Let's go for the Facebook. We're in a weird mood tonight.
Yeah. I had to leave work to shit myself today.
Oh, don't worry. That'll be the beginning of the episode.
Oh, good. Well, then this will just be more context.
Yeah. I figured that's what it was when you were like, I'm not feeling well, but didn't say.
I was very open about it with Matt.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very funny. Okay. You were like, I'm going to go shit my brains out.
Kind of. I have a sore tummy.
Yeah. All right. First question comes from Alex Bent.
Oh.
Then what?
Can you, Alex? I'm bent. Matchbox 20.
Yeah. Alex Bent asks, if we had to restructure all the Lantern Corps to fit different positions of law and order, which corps would that be? Example, one corps as police, one as judge, one as defense, and so on.
Oh, interesting. So we'll take the various Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
Black Lantern Corps executioners.
Oh.
Yeah, this is definitely, there's the first of all, sorry, let me clarify. There's the death penalty.
Okay, wow. All right, going right for it. Okay. Why does it have to be the black ones?
Because they're the Death Lanterns, the Black Lanterns.
Well, speaking volumes.
No, that's not what this is.
You guys all heard them.
Um,
What are the White Lanterns? The most, like, the best ones?
okay. I mean, it depends. Are we making our perfect version of the world, or are we mapping it to how it currently works? Because, like, you would love to see, like, the Compassion Lanterns either be like victim services or like a judge, someone very compassionate. But, like, are we trying to map them to how it should be, or are we trying to map them to how it is?
How it is, probably. Like, blue.
Then the
maybe.
White Lanterns are cop. No. Actually, they can't be cops because that's the Life Corps.
What about, like, Blue Lanterns maybe are like public defenders?
Oh, yeah. The Hope.
Yeah.
God, I hope.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of sad, actually.
Well-
yeah, which means prosecutors are the Orange Lanterns.
Yeah, there you go.
Greedy, money grubbing.
Yeah. We're getting it now.
I mean, the cops, I guess, are the Sinestro Corps, the Fear.
Mm-hmm. Or is green judges? Or would that be the rulers of them, the fucking
The Guardians.
Guardians? Yeah.
Yeah, but let's try and keep it as the core
Okay.
here. So sorry, hang on. Hope are the public defenders.
Yeah.
Orange, the greed ones, are the prosecutors.
Yeah. Black ones are obviously the criminals, right? Right, Doc?
No, the Black Lanterns are the people that run death row.
Okay.
The Sinestro Corps are the cops because that's the Fear thing.
Yeah.
I think the media is the Red Lanterns because they're all about outrage. They want to stoke public outrage.
There we
and things
go.
like that. We take shots in the media.
God, we're so edgy.
We're podcast award winners. They can't touch us.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
They won't touch us.
No.
We won't get any media coverage.
No. We got more coverage for being nominated than we did for actually winning.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone's like, you got nominated.
There's an election on right now. They have the news cycle covered.
Yeah. Why are we not ahead of...
So who's left? We have the Star Sapphire Corps.
The
We have the
Ultraviolet,
Compassion Indigo Corps.
Mhm.
We have the the Green Lantern Corps,
Mhm.
and I guess the White Lanterns, like the Life Corps. You get sentenced to White Lantern with no chance of parole. Yeah, I mean, I guess you would want, I don't know that this is how it is. Well, I'm convinced it's not how it is, but you would want the Compassion Lanterns to be the judges, but I think you're right. It's probably the Greens.
Yeah.
Someone who's supposedly in the middle,
Yeah.
impartial, but
Exactly.
is just sort of acting on random authority.
Yeah. And like real judges, they're absolutely biased and are definitely...
But they just plow through their point of view.
Yeah.
Because they're the strong ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what is sort of left in the scope of this place? I mean, I guess there must be some sort of victim services. That would
Mhm.
be your Compassion, your Indigo tribe.
The stenographer.
The stenographer, yeah. Star Sapphires, they love taking notes.
Yeah. Sure.
Really lost steam there.
Yeah. Who is the people who are like
With the jury?
the jury? Yeah.
Oh, right.
Just people.
The Manhunters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. No man escapes jury duty. Yeah, there you go.
Or they're the security, the like
bailiff.
bailiffs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. The Manhunters are bailiffs.
Yeah.
You're right. I guess the Ultraviolet
Yeah.
Lanterns could be the jury because they're all these people that have their own seedy underbelly of emotions.
Mhm,
They have to
mhm.
pretend that they're on some moral high ground. Yeah.
12 angry ultraviolets.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. We mostly did it other than the stenographer thing.
Yeah, we nailed it.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from the senator himself,
Ooh.
James Paulson, who asked, what police department that we actually see in the comics is least reliant on their heroes to do the heavy lifting? Is there any that actually are capable of dealing with some of the supervillains?
So I kind of feel like this is almost two separate things.
Yeah.
Like when we talk about cops in Gotham,
Mm-hmm.
which we talk about a lot because
Yeah.
it's like the part of the whole tapestry of Batman.
Totally.
They can't even do cop jobs. Like the mob runs Gotham. They're not even stopping human crime. And then Batman shows up, and then we get this sort of escalating arms race with supervillains and things like that.
Yeah.
But the cops can't even do the main job.
Mm-hmm.
But there are lots of cities where the cops can do the regular cop work.
Like Metropolis,
but not the super cop.
like
work.
Metropolis, like Superman really deals with pretty big scale stuff.
And actually, Metropolis even has like the SCU, which is like they're kind of like they got special armor and some superpowers. And like Metropolis is actually maybe a little scary in some ways. But Central City, the Central City police handle things until they get to super level, basically.
Yeah.
And if you go by the show, even some of that they can handle.
Yeah. They've started to get technology and
like
ways of capturing,
because that city also has a different relationship with its hero than Gotham does. With Batman, right?
Totally.
They have
a very like Spider-Man relationship with the Flash.
I think there's an argument to be made that in the cities with heroes with enormous power, the cops kind of learn to love them.
Yes.
And in Gotham, even though Batman is this unassailable force, he's still just a dude, and they're like, fuck him.
Yeah, you can't just
even
that.
the cops kind of like him. The general idea is that there's always a little bit of antagonism about Batman's existence. Whereas in Central City, they're like, yeah, we'll fucking build you a museum.
Yeah.
And Superman is like, yeah, we put your statue in the park.
Yeah.
Like they get that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
And Batman is constantly like trying to justify his own existence.
Wow. Yeah.
But police departments that hold their own the best. I think a lot of them hold their own in terms of what they're supposed to be doing until it gets to super stuff. So really, I guess you're talking about towns where not that much super stuff happens. You're probably talking about like Ivy Town, home of the Atom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you're talking about, well, not Hub City. Hub City's another town where the cops have failed to even stop human crime.
Yeah.
Same with Bloodhaven. But maybe you're talking about like a Midway City where the Hawks are. Or Opal City where Starman is. Like the cops are relatively... In fact, I mean, in the case of Starman, there are cops who like... There's a family called the O'Dares, and there's like generations of cops in this town who specifically work to protect the superhero.
Oh, wow.
Like cops help protect Starman.
Oh, that's cool as
in
hell.
Opal City.
That's really cool.
Maybe my answer is Opal City?
Wow. And who is the most capable to defeat like supervillains?
To defeat supervillains, you're probably talking Metropolis.
Yeah.
With the SCU. They seem to have the most technology, the most training. Some of them get powers in that. There's also a lot of, I think we're talking Metropolis probably has the most capable like police force.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
That's Twitter.
First question comes from Greg Fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we're under arrest. Time to pay the Greg fine.
Yeah, he's the kind of cop that shows up with a boombox and short shorts.
God, that Greg is fine.
Yeah, trying to issue a Greg fine.
He's got like super like tight biker shorts on.
Yeah, you're double parked in a school zone.
Oh yeah, that's Greg fine.
Time to pay the Greg fine.
Who asks, even though the Green Lantern Corps are described as law enforcement, they have in recent years been shown more and more as an armed forces. Do you think this is emblematic of how media in general depicts cops, or cuts to the truth of how cops are an occupying army?
Oh, that's a heavy question. And I think the answer is probably yes to all of it.
Yes.
I mean,
depending on the book.
It's a little bit different,
the writer.
In places other than the States. But in general, police forces in the Western world and probably beyond are increasingly militarized.
Yeah, it's
a real problem in
Yeah.
the States, but it is everywhere.
Yeah.
You start getting like the armored vehicles, you start getting like all the riot gear and then bigger rifles and things like that, and all of a sudden it's like do you have that to protect yourself, or are you going on the offensive?
Yeah.
And there is a real thing there. And the reason I say it's probably yes to all of it is like media. We had a long history of like cop movies where it's like the rules don't work,
And that's
I'm
cool.
just gonna go off and do it. I'm gonna crash a car through the side of a building, and I'm gonna like, and then you're like, oh yeah, they did it. And then it was like people grew up and watched those and were like, that's what being a cop is. And then
I wanna
they get
be
to
one,
train
yeah.
to be cops, and then they have access to these things, and they go like, I'm a cowboy, and like that's a bad little cycle.
Yeah.
And then also like police are increasingly used the way an army is used. You know, like that is also true. So possibly on purpose sometimes.
Mhm.
And also possibly just because that's how we see police now. I do think the Green Lantern Corps gets more and more turned into a military.
But they're not really showing them from the like negative aspects of that as much, though. Unfortunately,
well, but you know, let's take something like Sinestro Corps War.
yeah,
The Sinestro Corps emerges, declares war on the Green Lanterns. The Green Lanterns are essentially beat cops. They're supposed to only stay to their sectors, do that kind of stuff. And then the Sinestro Corps shows up, and this fight gets so bad and so desperate that the Guardians say lethal force. Green Lantern can use lethal force now.
Yeah.
And Sinestro goes, great, I won.
yeah,
He's like, I don't actually have to be in charge. I wanted them to do that the whole time. And it's that thing of like, well, how are we supposed to have like peace if we don't quell this shit or whatever? Like, they do turn the Green Lanterns into an army. They literally turn the Green Lanterns into an army in that story.
wow,
And even when you look at like the Green Lantern hierarchy is tough to discern. There's usually like a lantern that leads the Corps, which I
yeah.
guess is kind of like your police chief, but they also have the Guardians. But then also like they have so much autonomy.
Well, there's also those that like elite Green Lanterns too. Right?
There's the Alpha Lanterns, or there's been the Honor Guard. There's all these different kind of versions, and it's like, but what do you like? The actual logistical hierarchy of the Green Lantern Corps is troubling.
Don't fucking ask questions. That's what the answer is.
Kind of. You know, and ultimately the question gets asked in the most recent Green Lantern series is like, who the fuck said it was you?
Yeah,
The Guardians just said it, and you were so strong you did it.
yeah,
And you maybe you even had your heart in the right place, but that doesn't mean you can.
yeah.
And we're seeing like the emerging United Planets and this actual sort of cooperation of things. And they're like, if you guys want to join us, you have to like respond to us. We're going to have our own force. Green Lanterns cannot patrol within the United Planets. If you're going to be members, you can't patrol us because that gives you power over us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I do think some of it is intentional, obviously, like in that book or in Sinestro Corps War. And some of it is probably just because we increasingly view in real life cops as these sort of like paramilitary agencies that, yeah, it almost certainly affects how the Green Lantern Corps is portrayed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they are fully an army. In the New 52, when they get replaced with the Third Army,
Yeah.
not the First Army.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not that we had Manhunters, we had Green Lantern Corps. Now here's our First Army.
Yeah, I never really think of them anything other than that too. I mean, at least even the books that I've read are definitely
Because really, like, are the lanterns mostly showing up and like settling a trade dispute? They're like the fucking Jedi, right? Like, what are they supposed to even be doing?
yeah.
You know, are they showing up and settling a trade dispute, or are they going in and putting down
Yeah.
threats? Whether or not they're supposed to, like, they're an army. They're soldiers. They're not, they're not detectives. Very rarely do you get like a Green Lantern story where it's like, we better figure out what happened here.
No, it's just like shoot first, ask questions later.
The good Green Lantern stories are the ones that treat them more like detective-y cops, but or they're the ones that treat them and it's like, listen, they're not cops. We got a bunch of people with the most powerful weapon in the universe and they're saving the universe from like holes in space-time. Those are kind of the two good versions of Green Lantern stories. The stuff where it gets real murky is where it's like, what are we?
Wow. I never really thought about that, but you're absolutely right. I'd love to see a book where they get like taken down because of that.
But I mean, that is the subject of a lot of stories. You know, that like, who made you this? Who gave the Guardians authority?
Yeah.
We didn't vote for you. Like,
You
all
just
this
had
shit.
power, yeah.
You know, that's what's interesting about this thing with the United Planets now.
Well, and often like Green Lanterns find out the Guardians are bad, and then
The Guardians always have an ulterior
Yeah,
motive, which
yeah.
is another thing with the police force. You know, they don't answer to us.
yeah,
Technically, like, our taxpayer money funds them, but they don't answer to us. The cops should answer to us.
yeah,
They're our cops,
Yeah.
but they don't.
yeah,
So that's a problem.
yeah.
And I do think there's an element of that in Green Lantern. Again, how deliberate it is probably depends on the writer, depends on the era, depends on the general arc of the series, but it's definitely in there.
Yeah, John.
Stewart?
Oh yeah, not my stepdad who was a cop.
Oh,
That's
really?
for sure.
I have a cousin who's a cop.
Yeah. Anyways, next question.
He doesn't listen.
Yeah, no, my stepdad definitely does not listen. He never has.
Oh, no.
Next question comes from Braydon. Yes, the donkey rises. Who asks, other than that glorious mustache, what do you think makes Jim Gordon such a compelling character?
He's always wearing a T-shirt that says 10-cent rides on it. Yeah, Gordon's interesting.
You must ask for the mustache.
Gordon's interesting because I think, even though he's obviously the one who enables Batman and he's worked with Batman a long time and they do have a trust and stuff there, I think Gordon would probably be one of the first ones to say he wishes he didn't need him.
100%. I think the thing that I always really enjoy about Gordon is that he's basically working within a system that's broken, finds one person who's able to sort of help support the cause and goes like, I have nothing else. I refuse to just let it fall apart. So I'm going to use anything at my disposal. The fact that he's able to rise to the tops of the ranks of a system that's broken that doesn't want him is impressive enough.
Yeah, and I do think there's an element. I think there's an element of desperation to Gordon.
Yeah,
like
that's what makes him so interesting.
It's not just about the GCPD for Gordon, because he comes in most versions of Gordon. He comes from somewhere else and then moves to Gotham.
Yeah,
that's not always the case, but a lot of versions are like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for Gordon, it's not just about cleaning up Gotham or cleaning up the GCPD. It's like the soul of policing.
Yeah.
He's one of those elusive good apples,
cops, yeah.
You know, but even Gordon has his kind of crisis of faith moments. But he's one of those ones, and he is constantly confronted with the idea that the thing he has dedicated his life to, that he believes in with all of his heart, maybe just is wrong. And I think the only way out of it, the only way he can make it work is by allowing in this person like Batman, who is sort of outside the system, who can help him fix it.
Yeah.
He's inside, someone's outside, together somehow they'll fix it. And I mean, you think about it, even after all those years in Gotham, like even in the comics, yeah, there's probably still corrupt cops, but it's not a corrupt police force. Like even in the comics, like they kind of succeeded that way, but he still works with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you have to ask the question of like, is he afraid that as soon as that Batman is the only thing keeping it in check? And again, it comes back to this thing where it's like, is he just in denial? Is like that the soul of his career is basically fake, and the only thing that preserves it is this vigilante.
Yeah.
Does Gordon maybe in his deep heart of hearts not believe that they can fix it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's something compelling about that. He's always smoking and drinking, and he's like, this fucking city. And he's like, I think the Harley Quinn cartoon, like they play that for laughs about how fucking like harangued Gordon is. But I think they're onto something where it's like, I think he might also recognize that he's just trapped. He's dedicated his life to it. He went into policing to help people, but that's not what policing does. And I think he knows that as soon as Batman's not there to keep it on track, policing will become the thing that it always does.
Well, and he's a component, I think, of Batman. He's the policing side of Batman. And I think he would do it. I mean, he has done it. He would do it given the opportunity. And so I think that he looks to him because he's like, I can't do this, but I know that this is probably the only way.
Because here's a fun thing. So in the Snyder Capullo Batman run in the New 52, Batman at one point supposedly dies, but he doesn't die, but he loses his memories. He and the Joker both lose their memories and are living their own lives. And in that time, Gordon becomes a GCPD sanctioned Batman.
Yeah.
Which theoretically is Gordon's perfect solution.
Yeah.
And what is what does Gordon immediately run up against is he's told he can't go there, or you can't do that, or you must do this, and he's like, that's not right.
That's not how you're Batman.
Even when he becomes the blend between the vigilante and the system, he's like, the system doesn't work. Gordon is constantly forced to look straight at policing and go, oh, it's bullshit.
It doesn't work.
And I think that makes him compelling, that he stays, that he keeps fighting it, because
it's going to exist regardless. So at least he's in there to at least
and maybe that's it. He's one of the only people that'll fight for it properly or whatever to his mind. But like, he's just constantly confronted with the idea that like he is literally like holding an umbrella in a windstorm.
Yeah,
if he takes he takes a hand off, it's gone.
Just like, trying to set an example that no one else is really paying attention to.
And some other people do, but again, it's like even if you fill it with good people, the system is not designed to be the good thing that they believe it can be.
Yeah. It
will always bend to this worse, less efficient, more inclined to corruption sort of thing. And that's kind of like weird and distressing and very relevant.
Yeah, and I think he also has his own like demons, and I mean, when you look at other relationships similar to this with other heroes and their like police counterparts and things like that, it's never that same relationship.
No.
It's, I mean, partly to do with like, I think Gordon came first, or at least came earlier than a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to sort of copy that model. But I think
that Batman was always more of a pulpy thing in the beginning. So he worked more with the cops. Like Gordon was always more of a character in Batman than like whoever.
Well, and Batman is like a version of he's a detective. That's the whole point, right? And I think that's part of it, which is like, Barry, like Flash runs fast, but and works for the police, but not in the same way.
No, and I mean, and again, you know, there are corrupt cops on the CCPD.
Yep.
Is the CCPD corrupt? Probably not. But it also functions differently.
Yeah. Like Superman is a reporter. They don't really work with the cops. Like, the same.
But
way.
also, but what is Batman's mission? Like, the Flash, because of the nature of his powers, Flash goes out and like, oh, the community center roof caved in, and he fixes it.
Yeah.
He's like doing public works.
Yeah.
Batman has money and Bruce Wayne funds a lot of that kind of stuff, but then it still takes human amount of time to get done.
Yeah.
Like the way Flash saves Central City is partly from supervillains, but also just that he's there. He's like, oh yeah, and I'll wash the windows of the shop on my way by, and I'll do, like, he's performing acts of public good. So the cops there literally only have to respond to calls. They're not like, he's giving them the out. Like the thing that we want from the defund the police. Flash is trying to serve all those other roles. So they're getting the best of both worlds. They get to keep their funding. They don't have to do that much, but they're also not being called on to do the things they're not trained for. Whereas in Gotham, Batman's only a man. Even if he throws money at stuff, it still takes a long time. There's government interference. There's permits. There's shit like that. Flash just goes and like builds a community center, and then it's done. And they go, great. And then he's addressing those like issues, and the cops go, well, our job's got a lot easier.
Yeah, I think Batman and the GCP kind of still need each other. I think Batman still has to work within that system sometimes to get information and things like that.
And he's only one man, even with all of his resources and shit.
He still doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah.
I think that like at the end of the day, like he can still utilize their intel.
Yeah.
And they need him for like brute force and detective work. So yeah, I mean, I think that's they're sort of intrinsically connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like Batman is fighting crime. The Flash is
beating bad
helping
guys.
people.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the same thing. But that their missions, the reason they exist is different.
Definitely.
And I think that's a big part of what informs the difference between Director Singh or someone like that in The Flash and Commissioner Gordon in Batman.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Next question from the one and only, our favorite religious representative. It's Chris Chan, our legal representative as well today.
Yeah, he was upset that I didn't bring him in for this, but I said I couldn't afford his billable.
Yes. Chris Chan asks, can a claimant establish a duty of care against a superhero, i.e. apply a caparo? 1, was the harm reasonably foreseeable? And 2, was there a requisite degree of proximity between them? And 3, is it fair, just, and reasonable to impose a duty of care? I have no idea what this is saying.
This is my I didn't go to law school answer to this.
Son of a bitch.
A duty of care, if I'm not mistaken, is the idea of in performing duties or your job or something like that, if you are putting people in an unreasonable amount of danger, do you then bear responsibility for things that happen to them?
Yeah.
So in the case of this question, it's superheroes know what their job is, and they know the level and breadth of their powers, and also the level and breadth of the threats they face.
Yes.
Is the harm reasonably foreseeable that when a superhero is conducting their duty, people might get hurt? It's certainly foreseeable. Is there a requisite degree of proximity between them?
Yeah, it's like if a cop shoots a person while trying to aim for a bad guy, do they get charged?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I think it's probably more like
which is why you don't aim the gun near people.
Or yeah, well, I mean, duty of care is a legal obligation which is imposed on an individual requiring adherence to a standard of reasonable care while performing any acts that could foreseeably harm others. Right. The question that we're being asked here is the question of that is kind of posed in Watchmen, and it's definitely the question that's posed in The Incredibles.
Yep.
Right? That's the thing in The Incredibles.
Are you doing more harm than good? Yeah.
He saved my life and he broke my neck. It was my suicide attempt.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
Again, dark opening to a Pixar movie.
Can't believe it. Yeah.
It's that sort of thing. I probably letter of the law, the way that you the way that it's written in our real world, you probably could, but the question becomes, how do you enforce that? How do you make the Flash?
Yeah.
Like what does that mean? You're like,
I mean, if cops had their way, most superheroes wouldn't exist. So
also, I've talked about this before. I don't understand how the rule of law exists in DC when there are people that are known to be psychic, can manipulate people's minds or thoughts, pilot their bodies. There's fucking magic that just undoes and redoes the rules of the universe kind of at the whim of individuals. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you're supposed to from a legal perspective establish that anything even happened beyond a reasonable doubt.
Because I'd be like, it's someone was controlling me.
In criminal court or whatever, like, I don't know how anything's supposed to stick.
Yeah, because you could just be like,
the rule of
I
law
didn't
is
realize.
shot to shit.
Yeah, I was under magic. It wasn't my fault.
Like maybe you could say like you are no one. Your crime is unrelated to any of these things, and we're in a city that never has a superhero. Reasonably, that probably didn't happen. But if you live in Gotham or Metropolis or Central City, if you live in one of the big superhero nexuses, then I don't know how you can, for criminal law, establish beyond a reasonable doubt. And I don't know how you can, in civil law, like, actually enact or enforce these things like a duty of care. Like, I think it's all shot to shit. Maybe technically speaking, yeah, a superhero, you could have a duty of care against them, but like, I don't know how you pull that off.
Yeah, I
right?
You can't enforce it. Yeah.
Again, I'm not a lawyer, clearly, but like, yeah, that would be my thought though, is like, unless just out of the goodness of their heart, like someone like Superman is like, you're right, I should have been more careful or whatever, but like, what are you put him in prison? Like, people know Superman is Clark Kent. Like, he probably would even willingly submit himself to court. He'd be like, that's the finding of the court. Great. And then he'd go, great, I'm going to be in jail for 3 months. See you, Metropolis.
Yeah, until something happens. And then it's like,
so then you just let him out.
Or does he break out?
Or does he break out because it's like, and again, no matter what you do, the rule of law is shot to shit.
Yeah.
I think the short version is that if superheroes were real, people like Chris Chan would be out of a job, because ultimately people would discover that none of those systems work anymore.
It's okay. You can still just arrest people for having weed on them. So
I don't think he's a cop.
What? No, I know. I just mean in general.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they're a minority and have drugs, it's fine.
I would be curious to know, from like a strict legalese perspective, Chris Chan can get back to us because we're going to do the second part of this.
Yes.
As a lawyer, answer your own question,
Yeah.
and like, how would it work?
Yes.
I'm curious about that.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right. Let's leave Twitter and head
I
on
love
over.
that. Answer your own question. We're podcast award winners.
Yeah, we don't have to do this anymore. Let's head on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
First question and only question from Instagram comes from the real Josh Gill.
Oh, sexy Gill.
Oh, yeah, man.
Hey, sexy Gill.
Nice.
Up. Open Gill style.
Josh Gill style.
Oh, yeah, yours is better.
Open Josh Gill style. I'm pretty sure that Josh Gill's partner and I have worked on a situation where we're going to share him. So we worked it out.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, one of you gets his mouth. And,
I didn't want that one.
I'm so sorry. She seems so nice. If she's listening to this, I'm sorry you've been dragged into this.
You know what? She jumped in full head first because she said,
Josh is lovely. He's a real catch. I'm sorry that he comes with Richard.
She seemed quite willing to share him.
I mean, she's a keeper.
Yeah.
She's she hey, all of you listening, she, like all of your partners, is putting up with a lot.
Yeah, she I commented finding out the hard way that that he was suddenly with someone.
He's off the market.
But and so I was like, "What?" And immediately she messaged me and just wrote, "We can share."
Wow.
And then sent me a photo of him or a video of him walking out of the ocean.
What, like James Bond in Casino Royale?
Yeah, basically.
What?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
It's not. It won't let me play it now. It's like it only existed for a temporary time.
It said you've played this video too much.
Yeah. It just says we can share, and then there's nothing, and then
you sent the hot sweating face and 3 fires.
Yeah. I think we both know where we're at now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
What does Josh ask?
Please stop talking to my girlfriend. Josh Gill asks, what are some good stories featuring Manhunter / Kate Spencer?
Right.
Wow.
So
going right for some real actual questions about comics.
Kate Spencer,
yeah,
aka the Manhunter,
yeah,
is a lawyer in DC, and she's tired of people getting off on technicalities and shit like that. And
it's the only way I get off
on technicalities.
Yeah.
Like, technically you can come?
No, this is at 3 gigahertz. I'm gonna come.
What?
It's a technical piece of
It's not
production.
It's not really what a technicality is.
Yeah. Technically, I can.
I will ask no follow-up questions. I do not want to know.
Technically, that was cum.
Oh no. It's eating through the floor.
Technically, it's cum.
Yeah, so Kate Spencer, she ends up breaking into like an evidence locker and taking some gear and stuff, and she starts acting as a vigilante. Goes by the name Manhunter. She contracts this guy to make her like proper superhero gear. I think he's someone. I think it's like a guy that used to like outfit villains or something like that. Is the setup, right? Like an evil Gambi.
Great.
Yeah. Here you go, Kate.
Oh, you can tell he's bad from the tone of his voice.
Yep. I'm the evil one.
Oh, I thought I was the evil one.
No, you'll never.
Oh, I can tell by your cadence that you're the evil one.
And then she gets basically like a modified Darkstar uniform, this sort of like energy staff and shit like that. And yeah, she's a superhero called Manhunter.
Cool. So what are some good stories?
So good stories are the ones where she has to like
hunt men?
Well, no, where she has to like, she works as a defendant, or not a defendant, as a defender. Sorry.
Yes.
She works as a defender, which means that there's a story. Is it like a mid-2000s story or something like that, where she defends Dr. Psycho just to defend a villain for using his like mind manipulation powers and stuff like that. But again, this is the thing where she's like, as a lawyer, she's like, this is fucking bullshit. And then as Manhunter, she can kick his ass.
Nice.
Kind of thing. She defends Wonder Woman after Wonder Woman kills Maxwell Lord, and it's televised.
Boy.
She defends Wonder Woman. So that's immediately after Infinite Crisis, I guess. She shows up in the Percy Ferreira rebirth run of Green Arrow. She defends Oliver Queen when he's been framed for killing his secretary. And that's pretty interesting. But she had her own series that's worth checking out if you're not just hopping around to see when she's defended people.
Yeah.
And I like her she's been implicated in like the Event Leviathan and Checkmate stuff that Bendis has been doing since he came to DC. I'm enjoying that. I mean, it's not necessarily super focused on her, but she's definitely in there. It's cool. It's interesting. Those are worth checking out too. But yeah, she's a cool character. Very interesting. I think people sometimes forget about her.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
But then when a creator finds her and knows what to do with her, she's really interesting because you get some of that Daredevil kind of vibes.
Hell yeah.
You know, you have this very no thank kind of job of defending people who may or may not deserve it.
But is thankless?
What did I say?
No thank.
I'm a podcast award winner.
It's like, wait a minute.
I don't misspeak.
I don't speak wrong.
I don't speak miss. Kate Spencer's cool. Check her out.
Awesome. All right, let's leave Instagram and head on over to Reddit,
where everyone's nice, no one's ever mean.
That's right. First question comes from Never See It Die, Iron Joker 33.
Sorry, 33.
Wow.
I'm a podcast award winner.
You don't have to pay attention anymore.
I don't have to do anything.
No. You could fully check out now. We got what we came here for.
Yeah, now I can check out.
Yeah.
I had already.
Yeah.
But now I can.
Now you're allowed to.
Now it's fine.
4 and something years later, we're allowed to finally check out.
Yeah, just as you're getting into it.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, All-Star Superman is pretty cool. You're just like, yeah, fucking shut up.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, whatever, you cuck. I'll just start reading the questions. You answer them. Let's fully switch roles.
That'd be a weird switch.
Yeah, it would.
Just like, you got to check out this podcast. For the first 4 years,
one guy was an expert.
Yeah, and then the next 4 years.
And then he just stopped caring.
Yeah, and then the other guy became the expert.
That would be really funny.
I wish that we had thought about this 4 years ago.
I mean, you've got the material. Just start reading, baby.
I've got like 400 comic books coming right now.
Yeah. Man, it must be nice to have all that money.
Yeah, it's great. Get back to work.
Oh.
I've got like 100 tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I don't even know what it is. Like a bunch of bronze and stuff. And hell yeah. Copper age stuff. All right. Iron Joker asks, is it ever addressed in the comics that the police use the heroes to often get around due process? Do any cops object to that? The heroes rarely follow any rules that cops have to.
No, they don't. Next question.
Stop asking questions. The black van's pulled up to your house.
I mean, if anything, it comes up all the time.
Yeah?
You know, like that's usually it's interesting. You know, we're going to talk about Batman a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, in The Dark Knight, they make a point of saying like, oh, he fled to Hong Kong. We can't get him. And then Batman's like, I could get him. And he flies to Hong Kong. And he beats up all the guys, and he skyhooks out of there. And he just ties him up and leaves him outside in the cold in Gotham City for the cops to find. And they're like, oh, how did this guy get there? And they go like, we don't know. It wasn't that we asked someone to violate international borders and do it. You know, like, it's one of those things where it's like, if we pretend Gordon didn't ask him to do this,
Yeah.
we could prosecute.
Jeez.
You know, and that shit comes up all the time, which is like, we know it's this person. We have evidence even, but they're unassailable.
Mm-hmm.
Or they've bought off the judges of that. And then Batman goes and like breaks a couple of judge kneecaps, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they can't be in court today. I guess today's a good day to arrest so and so.
Oh my God.
You know, like it's not less corrupt, but we're supposed to be like, great, because it's like you got to fight a system that doesn't work with exacerbating the points of the system that don't work. Yeah, I mean, other characters, someone like the Flash, often story-wise, because of his role as a forensic scientist, he gets the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the case and then presents it all. Says, I caught this guy, and here's all the evidence you need, and blah, blah, blah. And the cops go, great, thank you, Flash. But it's not necessarily, it's not like the Flash is like tapping phones or like, you know, torturing people. And it's like, well, that's testimony's inadmissible or whatever. You know, it's that thing where it's like he has superpowers. So he happens to be in places where if anyone else happened to be there and overheard it, that would be evidence.
Yeah.
But he could just put himself there more easily kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's dicey. I'm obviously not a lawyer or a cop. And generally speaking, in all of these cases, I'm pretty sure too many rules are being broken for everything to be admissible.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, you got to have them catch the bad guys, right? It does come up, though. Every once in a while, a writer will call attention to it or be like, yeah, you caught him, but we got to let him go because on the way here, you snapped his clavicle. Or
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
All right. Next question from Dr. DC Resident Neo, who asks, Whoa. It's, I know podcasts.
Yeah.
Tonight, we podcast.
Yeah.
That was a retelling of what happened right before we started this episode.
Yeah, we always start a Monday night with a cave orgy.
Yeah, obviously. How else would you get into it?
Yeah.
Resident Neo asks, first off, congrats on the award.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's about time.
Thank you. Where are the rest of you?
Yeah. Huh?
With your accolade. Yeah, fine. All you people on the Dark Sword, you gave us accolades, but where are the rest of you?
Yeah, I know the podcast numbers. There's a lot missing.
Yeah.
Where's my comeuppance?
Oh, no.
Huh?
He's just fully asking for it now.
Yeah. Second, is there any law case that is referenced a lot, like Brown versus Board, thanks Supreme Emperor Richard and Lord Reed and Force Ghost Colin?
Does that mean I'm Vader?
Yes.
Lord Vader.
And I'm Emperor Richard.
This podcast is fully operational.
Fully operational.
Oh.
Fully functional.
That is how it sounds when I breathe.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm like, oh yeah. Isn't that just the way that you have to go to sleep every night? You take a little sleep nappy at Nia?
No, I'm not going to further embarrass myself by disclosing more horrible things my body does.
Just when you
I
stop
bent over
breathing?
to put my shoe on, and it squeezed air out of me. Like
At the front?
yeah, like out of my mouth. Like I bent over to put my shoe on, and I went. Like it was involuntary. Just like.
Were you around anyone?
Yeah, my family.
Oh, did they comment on it?
They know better.
Oh, okay. They're ashamed enough as it is. They don't need to bring attention
Yeah,
to
they
it.
were already walking in the car.
Like, oh god, I'll talk to the therapist about this later. So nothing says like beta male more than that.
More than slowly deflating.
Literally, physically, and emotionally deflated. Let's get to the question.
Are there law cases that are specifically referenced?
Yeah, like Lantern versus like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not necessarily like that, but
That'd
take
be
like
cool.
the Justice Society. So
Yeah.
then there was a part of their story where they,
Yeah, a lot of things called justice, and they don't do a lot of policing.
no, this was an injustice done to them.
Oh,
There's a thing that was inserted into their story where in the 50s they get called before like the House Un-American Activities Committee, like the
course.
McCarthyism thing.
yikes!
And they're called because they're communists, because they're not, they're said to be sympathizers or whatever they're said to be, because they're all these colorful costume heroes that are fighting for people, not for the government or whatever. And rather than appear at that committee and be whatever, arrested or censured or whatever, they just hang, or forced to unmask, which was the thing that was going to happen. They just retire. So they're like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
It's not like a law was passed, but they were being forced, like in a legal way. They were, or a political way at least. They were being like forced in to out their public identities, and they were like, no, not going to do that. Fuck you.
Wow.
So like that's a thing that gets referenced a lot, is that particular moment for the JSA. They talk, I think eventually they might reference it as the Keene Act, but that's not what it was originally. The Keene Act is the thing in Watchmen. The literal, like, we are outlawing superheroes law
That's
in
right.
Watchmen
Yeah.
is called the Keene Act.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they work for the government, basically, like Doc Manhattan does, or the comedian does. So that is a very specific, like, superhero law that's talked about. Smallville did like a version of like the, Marvel has the mutant registration thing and stuff like that. Smallville did a version that was like the Vigilante Registration Act or something.
Mm-hmm.
There have been things about, metahuman registration and stuff like that has come up before. Even on the Flash TV show, they've talked about it. It's definitely a concept that comes back around. But as for like a specific law being passed and then dealing with the repercussions, I guess sometimes I feel like it's less. My experience with it is it's usually less like a specific law, like the government has done it, and usually more of like there's a new police commissioner and they say out with the bat signal, or like there's a new mayor and they're not having flashes, or there's like a new DA and they don't like how Green Arrow is, he sympathizes with these drug dealers or whatever, like. It's usually more like an edict, or like someone gets their department to change a policy, as opposed to being like a court case where like Blue Beetle has to show up in costume and it's like Blue Beetle v.
Yes.
Like
that's what I want.
It's usually not really like that.
Yeah.
But there are kind of like legal and political maneuverings that do get referenced and stuff like that happens.
Yeah. An Arrow and Canary versus the Community Board of Justice. Yeah.
yeah. It's very rarely something like that. I mean, when you think about it, like, what is the Justice League? It's like an extra national organization that exists on American soil. The Hall of Justice is in DC.
Yeah.
But they don't answer to that. They're not all American citizens. It's not like the UN building, but like, who are they? They violate sovereign borders.
It's like America in the UN.
Yeah, they're just like, we're here technically, but like we'll basically do whatever the fuck.
I heard once
That's true.
I heard the other day that that Tom York describes himself as a member of Radiohead as the US in the UN.
I mean, that is so indicative of his approach to being in that band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, everyone gets an opinion, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, shit. Yeah, fair enough.
I'll make sure everyone's properly heard and then do whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but when you think about it, that there should be more kind of like, there have been international incidents and stuff, but I can't think of like a version where it's like the government of the United States v. Justice League.
Jeez.
In court.
Yeah, that would be cool as hell.
Batman
I want that.
v. Superman in court. Yeah. We'd like to call a witness to the stand. Can we please bring up Martha?
God damn it, you got to it first. Instantly the first thought.
Why did you say that name? Don't answer that.
Yeah.
Objection.
That's good. I mean, that's just good.
Well, that was the joke everyone was making because they were like, it's not Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
There's like all being all fucking pretentious with just a V. Like,
Yeah.
this is a court case.
So funny.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Talking Kakarot.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Is this still tail version?
What?
Kakarot?
What?
It's Goku before because he was born Kakarot.
My DBZ is not nearly good enough for this.
Yes, it was his name before. And
guess you're more of a fucking nerd than I am.
No, I'm not. You got more comic books than me.
Yeah, my comics could wedge at your comics.
Yeah, but then my Lego Harry Potter Legos would like totally beat you.
Actually, I've cast a shield of protection over my...
Yeah.
I'd Wingardium Leviosa them so that you couldn't grab them because it'd be above
roll
you.
3d4 of damage to...
You don't have that
You don't
type
roll
of
D4s for damage, you idiot.
You don't have that type of charisma.
I mean, that's true.
Very true. Neither of us do. I have Muffin.
Yeah, I've got low constitution, low charisma. My sausage points.
Out of the fucking
Yeah.
park.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've fully maxed them out.
Yeah.
Not really sure where they come in handy.
You know, when your party has to grill.
Yeah, or an emergency bathroom break you're allowed to call for.
Yeah, when you go home from work in the middle of the day.
I'm having a shard attack, okay?
I did not call it that, and that's not what it was.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. All right, let's leave. Oh, no, wait. Kakarot, they had a question. Here's funny. Is there an ACAB moment directed at the Green Lantern Corps? Sinestro went full fascist. Hal Jordan had a breakdown and went on a lengthy galactic killing spree. Guy Gardner just seems like a jock turned cop. I mean, you can just say he's a cop. There has to be a better policing system for the universe, right?
I mean, yes, there should be.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's emerging is that the member planets of the United Planets contribute like someone to, I think, what are they called? Are they just called the United? You get like Hawkslayer from Thanagar and different prints from Tamaran.
Sure, yeah.
There's what's his name? Dominator QQ from
QQ.
Yeah, there's like a version of that that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like each member planet submits someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a better version. I don't know if there's a full-on ACAB movement anywhere, but there's absolutely like the Green Lanterns are barely cops and they're bad at it. Sentiment out in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Think of like the fucking Vega system where because politically it was bad for the Guardians and because they were afraid of the fact that they had unilaterally sort of like declared their power, and they were afraid of the Orange Lantern, and also just because they were like, well, we'll let the Spider Guild operate in here. That's remember when like the cops like withdrew from Compton in the 90s? The
Yes.
LAPD was just like, I guess we just don't police here.
Yeah. Oops. I guess we don't go here anymore.
And it's like they made it bad, but also like there's gangs, there are innocent people in there. There are still innocent people in the Vegas sector, and now you're just not helping them because like what? Now your job's too scary. It's like you're fine with it when they're like unarmed and wearing a sweatshirt, and you're not fine with it when you actually have the thing to do.
Yeah.
And like the Green Lanterns are fucking notorious for that shit. It's like, oh, we don't really patrol there. It's like, fucking why?
Yeah.
Or it's like, well, Earth has a lot of very strong people. We kind of just let them do their own things. Like, no, they're in your fucking sector.
Yeah.
Or, so you either have jurisdiction or you don't. What's with
Yeah.
all this fucking opting out bullshit? Like,
Yeah,
neighborhoods don't get to go like, no, thank you, Mr. Policeman.
It's too much work. I don't want to.
We like to do our own brand of justice
Yeah.
here. Like, you don't get to fucking do that.
Yeah.
That shit is all over the universe.
Yeah.
And part of it is that the Green Lantern Corps is stretched way too thin.
Yep.
That their authority derives from nowhere.
Yeah.
That
They're low. They have no funding.
yeah. Refund the. You know what I mean though? Like
Yeah.
the Lantern Corps is notorious for that. So yeah, there are definitely planets out there that are like, fuck you guys, or they're like, you're under arrest, and they go, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I think the threat of the Green Lanterns is not, oh, I'm being arrested. That's a really powerful weapon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if a Green Lantern is chasing Kanjar Row, is he like, no, I can't go to jail? Or is he like, oh, fuck, they have a lantern ring and I'm in this rinky-dink spaceship?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what is their authority? It's fucking nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
The audacity of the Guardian. I mean, it comes up all the time. But the audacity of the Guardians is insane. Audacity, hubris. They're supposed to be without emotion, but they display all the worst ones.
Who would have thought that we'd come out of this thinking that the police were ineffectual?
Well, I mean, and also, yeah, we're getting to like the heart of a lot of superhero things. You know, the Question in Hub City, certainly like those kind of pulpy characters. It's almost always specifically because the cops are corrupt or they don't work.
Yeah.
Like, so Batman, the Question, character Green Arrow, questions like that is because the cops don't work. The system doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Superman, the Flash, shit like that is just that at a certain point your authority just isn't good enough. Or it's that you can only do so much. Either way, you're saying the system is either incomplete or it's not working. Superhero comics across the board are saying one of those two things. The system is incomplete. It doesn't address actual societal ills and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or the things it's meant to be doing, it's not even doing that properly. And it's corrupt. It breeds corruption.
Jesus.
Every superhero comic ever is in some way saying one of those two things because that's why a superhero would exist.
Mm-hmm. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's leave Reddit and head on over to the Discord. There you go. Now,
Can you help me, Doc Scored? I'm so scored that I'm darker. Doc Scored, Doc Scored.
I'm trying to think of what that is.
It's Bent. I went back to Bent by
Oh.
Matchbox 20.
You know what the song that always comes up my head as soon as we get to it every single time?
Okay.
Ducks through the heart, because you're
Really?
too scored. Yeah, every time.
The one I always have to stop myself from
Yeah.
doing because we've done it before is the Doc's my scored tonight.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. That's a banger.
Yeah.
That one fucking slaps.
Yeah. Let's put it in an album.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's got a... Have you ever heard...
It's like if Weird Al only had one joke.
Well, Jessica and I have sent you the My Dick album, right? Yeah. They literally just, like, My Dick in Heaven. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you dogs my score?
We've definitely done that. If I scored it, dog scored.
Whoops. Fuck Clapton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anti-vax.
Is he?
Yeah, he put out some song that's all about like freedom.
Oh God.
It's like,
Why?
yeah. Well, the fun thing, I mean, about Clapton is that, I mean, he's held this view for a long time because windows are just the mask of openings many floors up. And we know he's anti that.
Oh my God.
So fuck Clapton. You hear me, Clapton? I know you're listening.
Maybe they just get what they deserve.
You get what you... Yeah, that's been my move with you lately.
Yeah.
If I don't like something you say, I immediately escalate to incel territory and I send you the gif from Joker of him saying they get what they fucking deserve.
So aggressive.
Yeah.
First question from the doc scored, fart, but. Wicked.
Everybody fart now. That's one of the best ones we've ever done.
God, we're good. Award-winning good.
Yeah.
But Fart Bud asks, which series do you think best sets up and addresses law in the DC universe?
Like just the idea of, okay. We haven't talked about, I mean, we've talked about Gotham and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a series
Gotham.
called Gotham Central
Sure.
that followed the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Like the regular cops of the GCPD. It followed detectives. It followed internal affairs. It followed like, how do you operate as a police force
Yep.
in a city with a vigilante? Like,
Yeah.
what does your job even look like?
Yeah.
And the idea of, you know, the interpersonal things, and there are corrupt cops, and it's like, well, but we took on the corrupt cop, but we, like, you punched him in the face. Now that means he has something over on you. Now all the evidence legitimately we had on him, we can't use because you just ruined the case. Like, the idea of, like, how you build a case and what's admissible and what's not.
Yeah.
Having to work with the DA, internal affairs is on your like, Gotham Central is really outstanding.
I gotta get
Look
a hold
at
of
it.
that.
I've got a couple of volumes of it, and it's really brilliant. It's the thing I wanted Gotham to be, like the show.
Yeah.
It's maybe the best version of showing like how the regular world is still trying to operate in this space where also sometimes Batman drops like a crook off at the door and shit like that. It's wild, you know, that you get a lot of Renee Montoya in that series. You get a lot of Crispus Allen in that series, who's her partner, who becomes the Spectre later. There's a lot of really cool stuff. Gotham Central is it for me. There are other series and stuff that, and other books that are like, yeah, we see cops or stuff like that, or, you know, even something like in Aquaman, every once in a while they're like, this is how our court works. It's a fantasy world.
Yeah.
And you're like, in Atlantean lots, trial by combat. And you get these little tidbits, but you're not really like immersed in it.
Yeah.
Gotham Central was like, all right, you're in the bullpen. And you're really just living in there with all these cops. It was a really fascinating book. Outstanding book.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
It's tight. You would like it.
Yeah, I every time I hear about it, I want to read it. So
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Mullet Overlord, who asks, besides Green Arrow, what superheroes vigilantes do you think own ACAB shirts?
All right. You first. Who do you think?
What does ACAB stand for again?
All cops are bad.
Yes. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Well, is there anybody from the Justice League first?
Who else in the Justice League?
Yeah.
Um,
Because I would say Batman, maybe?
but that's not true.
Because he likes Gordon, but
And he recognizes like the hard work of other cops. And also, I think Batman is someone that wants the system to work, as opposed to Green Arrow, who is like, this system.
oh yeah, Green Arrow 100%.
Burn it down.
Yeah, Green Arrow 100%. Yeah.
You know,
yeah. But besides him,
Batman would have like all cops used to be bad, but then I beat them up.
Yeah.
shirt. Like,
Yeah, otherwise I don't think anybody from the Justice League that I can think of.
I think Black Lightning.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I think Black Lightning would. He's an
fair.
educator, first of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
He understands that if more resources went to the social side of things, you wouldn't need like I think Jefferson Pierce would be right out there with the defund the police,
Yep.
that sort of thing. I think him for sure.
It's hard to not just think of villains.
Sure. I mean, Catwoman.
Yeah. But
I mean,
again,
but I
yeah,
mean-
she's not really a vigilante.
But I mean, not into the sense that a villain is just like, yeah, cops are bad. Get rid of the cops. Like
She's
the
just
way a
like-
villain- she's
yeah.
like, no, like legitimately, like the reason
The
that I
system's bad.
became a thief is because the system is bad.
Because I want to say like Red Hood, but like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jason has a similar ish kind of path that way through kind of poverty and things like that. It's possible. Who else? I think Billy sees the good in people too much.
Yeah.
Billy Batson.
Mm-hmm.
He probably should say
Billy
cops are bad,
Batson.
but he's like, no, you just got to give people a chance to
Yeah.
show the good in them or whatever, you know.
The Kingdom Come Superman.
Uh-oh. I think those are like the ones that those are the big ones for me. The ones that'd be at the forefront. I think lots of others would go along, would go with. You know, Black Canary obviously I think would go with.
Yeah.
She's very anti-fascist. She's actually very mad at Green Arrow right now because she found out that not only is he funding the Justice League, he's also funding the clandestine Checkmate organization. She's like,
Really?
If anyone else was doing this, what would you say about one person holding this much power?
I mean, that's very true. Yeah.
You know, so there's definitely Dinah would be in there.
What about Wonder Woman? It's tough, right? Like,
I don't like when Wonder Woman is like a kind of heartless warrior, and sometimes Wonder Woman is depicted that way.
yeah.
Wonder Woman's best when she's very compassionate, but she also comes from this very kind of warrior tradition bound society, and I think she, like Batman, would be like, this is definitely fucked up, but there must be a way to reform it. And I think she's wrong, but I think that's what she would do.
Oh, you know who it is? Aquaman. What, like, he doesn't really like any form of order in general. He just has to like.
Except Aquaman, I mean, he always kind of goes with this, like, you know, it's even happening right now. He's like, no. Atlantis has this. You cross the border, it's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like, Aquaman does have a tendency to respond with strength, which
Yes.
is not exactly ACAB.
Fair.
Yeah.
Lobo.
I guess. Yeah. By definition, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know he's a villain, but like someone like Atrocitus, who, you know, leader of the Red Lanterns, but like his planet was like scoured, you know, like
Yeah.
he blames the Guardians, he blames enforcement for things. So he's probably too radical, like violently radical, but he's
Mhm.
probably ACAB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There actually isn't as many.
I mean, there probably are, but I was trying to find the difference between people that would just be like, it would be really great if there weren't cops. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the people that,
Are actually like the system is broken and
Yeah.
bad and needs to stop.
you know, we talked about Kate Spencer. She's seen the system not work,
Yeah.
you know. You know, someone like Barry probably knows the system doesn't work, but would he wear an ACAB shirt? Probably not.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's
he's
interesting.
a cop.
All right. Next question comes from our favorite spacey, sexy Punisher.
Ooh, Cosmic Dom.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fucking whip me into space.
Yeah.
And that works, yeah.
Celestially step on my throat.
I'm seeing stars from when you hit me.
Yeah. Yeah. My safe word is entropy.
Come into my black hole.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to give you a big bang.
Yep, that works. My son is so hot.
Oh no. Oh no.
Don't worry, it's my stepson.
Oh no. Not like this.
Hello, ministers.
We're a podcast award winners.
Yeah.
Hello, all of the new listeners.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Cosmic asks, where did Clifford Steele get his law degree?
I have not read every issue of Doom Patrol, surprising no one.
In the big red college.
But I went.
That's where Clifford got it.
Yeah, that's right. But I scoured a little bit
Sure.
to find like references to him doing a court case or anything, and I couldn't really find it. So I will admittedly say I'm actually not fully sure.
Who's Clifford Steele?
Robot Man from the Doom Patrol. That's
Oh.
Cliff Steele.
Yes, Clifford
I'm
Steele.
not fully sure I know where this question came from.
Weird.
I'm sure there is an issue out there somewhere where he said something or the Doom Patrol had to like argue for their own existence. Like all of this feels very Doom Patrol, but do I know it / could I find it? No.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Let us know.
But if we want to talk Doom Patrol related like lawsuits, there was I think it was like the Charles Atlas company, didn't they? They tried to sue over Flex Mentallo because Flex Mentallo is like such a riff on the Charles Atlas thing, and it was deemed like an appropriate parody. It's fair use.
That's
And
so
they were
funny.
like,
That's really funny.
that was like a Doom Patrol related legal thing.
Wow. I love that. That's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, but Cliff is a race car driver. He's a brain in a robot suit.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, he didn't go to law school, but there must be an issue or something out there where they're like doing the measure of a man thing from Star Trek. Like,
Man, I don't know what we're going to do. They're going to take away our award now.
why?
Guy
Because I
makes you-
didn't know the
Yeah,
answer.
he makes you look like an idiot.
Like maybe you're the doctor now.
Oh, that's
It's-
right.
It's time. Yeah, now you look like an idiot. Ha! Next question comes from Bruno. Bruno.
Bruno.
Bruno asks, you have to create a police force to patrol the DC universe, and
Oh,
you can
yeah.
use characters from the entire Omniverse and associated lines like Vertigo or Wildstorm.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you pick to be the chief, the
Mhm.
loose cannon, the dirty cop, the by-the-book cop, the
Yeah.
clueless cop, the SWAT leader, the cop that went bad and becomes a criminal after being undercover too long? Who leads your internal affairs?
Ooh, okay. Well, let me think back to my years of reading.
Use all your expertise here.
Yeah.
Anytime now.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that expertise.
The chief, I think.
My mouth is open. Give me your expertise.
Oh, I'm going to feed you my expertise. Open wide. The chief, I think, would be Martian Manhunter, actually.
I mean, Martian Manhunter, a cop.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also, I just think that, like, he has very, like, chief vibes. Like, I could feel like put your badge and your gun on my desk.
He'd be a very, like, kind of generally sort of demure, emotionless chief, like Holt.
Yes.
He'd be a good Holt.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he would be really funny.
And he's not familiar with the way we do things, so he'd be like, I don't really know what that joke was, but
Yes.
yeah.
I think
Martian Manhunter as the chief, I'm into.
Yeah, I think
I like it.
I think that'd be really funny.
I want, I think for a loose cannon, I want to throw in Dino Cop
Oh my god.
from Earth. I think it's Earth 49.
Yeah.
Dino Cop is the DC pastiche of Image's Savage Dragon.
Oh.
Dino Cop often works with like the Justice Incarnate. He's like part of like the multiversal Justice League. So he's a dinosaur cop. I think I'd throw him in as the loose cannon.
Oh yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the loose cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Beast Boy, but that
No,
works.
actually, no, he's not that loose cannon though. No, never mind. I got to find a better spot for Dino Cop.
I think it's Beast Boy.
Beast Boy's not a cop though.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't say specifically they have to be cop.
Oh,
it just says,
I see. I was trying to take all of the different
Yeah.
police characters.
No, I was just taking
and
characters.
make a force out of them.
But I guess you could do that too.
I thought that was what the question was asking.
Oh no, it just says you can use the characters from the Omniverse and associated.
I
lines,
suppose so.
But I guess if you want to make it more challenging, then we can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the
The loose cannon, then maybe Renee Montoya.
Oh yeah. Renee's definitely a loose cannon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Renee Montoya, loose cannon. Love that. By the book cop. That's Barry Allen.
Oh yeah.
That's the Flash.
100%.
Very by the book.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Dirty cop.
Ooh, I know. This is the one I've been trying to think of.
Sinestro.
I know, but yeah, I guess. I mean, that's
not quite it though. Sinestro is actually more the he's been undercover too long. Where he's
Yeah.
like, no, this isn't how we do things.
Yeah.
Like-
I want, or like Hal,
yeah.
because
As a dirty cop,
he snaps a little.
I guess. I'm trying to think of like who is someone.
No,
who's
as the
like-
one who's like been under the cover for too long. I think.
Oh,
that's
right.
it,
Yeah. Yeah. Who would be a good dirty cop?
Right, because it's got to be. I mean, you could do any of the fucking like Irish pieces of shit from the GCPD.
The Irish pieces of shit. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
No, hang on. I want to figure this out. I think I'm gonna come back to Dirty Cop.
Okay.
The
The clueless cop, Gnort.
yeah, Gnort, obviously. Yeah. Totally. Fully, yeah. By the book cop, you could also
I like Barry a lot for that.
do you know what? I'm gonna say Dirty Cop, but
Dirty cop.
dirty in that bends the rules, breaks the rules, but not dirty in that like doesn't believe in justice. I'm saying Dan Turpin. Dan Turpin is a character who is a cop character who appeared. It wasn't his first appearance, but he like appeared in New Gods. He's sort of like Kirby kind of appropriated him in the Superman animated series. They animate him to look like Jack Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Turpin becomes this like metropolis cop who, kind of tough as nails, says things like, you super mucks or whatever when he's talking about superheroes. He'll like break a finger or something if he needs to. He wouldn't like take a bribe. He's a good cop, but someone who will break the rules or something a little bit. Like, I don't know about my friend here. Like, I think that's Dan Turpin.
Yeah.
Although I guess that's sort of loose cannon territory, but still. SWAT leader.
Ooh. Okay. Someone who's gonna like run the like army.
Maybe
division
that's
is-
Dino Cop.
There we go.
Because Dino Cop's sort of like in the multiversity, he's sort of the one like the strategic.
Yeah.
You go here, take that side. Maybe that's where I can fit Dino Cop in. Is the SWAT leader?
I think I have my dirty cop.
Okay, Dirty Cop.
Maybe it was initially like a cab song, the reverse take.
Yeah. Way to go, NSYNC.
Yeah.
Way to go, you fucking ramen haired freak, Timberlake.
And don't forget the garbage man.
Joey Fat One?
Yeah.
I love Joey Fatone though.
Yeah, but he looks like a garbage man.
At Superstore, and it has been there for a year.
Yeah.
There is a pop figurine of Chris Kirkpatrick.
Really?
I keep thinking like, is today the day? And I'm like, I'm not going to spend $15 on this.
That's very funny.
But it's been there for like a year.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Only him.
Wow.
They didn't have all of them.
That's so funny.
They only have Chris Kirkpatrick. He's
really-
right next to Gary Oldman as Bram Stoker's Dracula.
That's Save-On?
No, at the Superstore.
Oh, wow. That's so funny.
Yeah.
My dirty cop, Jonah Hex.
Oh, yeah. Lawman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get them. I mean, we haven't even brought up Pow Wow Smith.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I think Pow Wow Smith is the one that went bad. He was undercover too long, and he's like, I spend a lot of time with these people. I think I'm one of them now.
Oh,
And you're
no.
like,
No, I don't think that's how it works.
buddy, I don't know, man.
Yeah, no.
I don't know, man.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Did we do them all?
Oh, IA. Your internal affairs.
Oh.
Who investigates this new department of yours?
Oh, that's interesting. Oracle?
Oh, interesting. Sure.
Yeah, I mean that feels like
Yeah.
the move, right?
Sure. Yeah. I'm into that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where I sit.
Well, there you go.
All right. Let's
Next
go.
question.
Next question. Are you good? You're gonna
Ryan the Prime asks, besides Harvey Dent, has there been any other district attorney that has worked closely with the hero or has lived long enough to become a villain? Also, who are some more other noteworthy cops besides Gordon and Renee Montoya?
I mean, we've already named a lot
Mm-hmm.
of.
Why don't you name them again?
Why does that sound like a challenge?
I mean, it's not. You're the doctor now.
I'm an award-winning podcaster.
I'm just saying, as producer of the show,
I don't need to prove.
why don't you say it again?
I don't need to prove anything
As
to you.
as the steward of the content of the show, as producer, why don't you, the doctor, say some of those names that we already said again?
Yeah.
Noteworthy cops. How about Lady Cop?
Besides Renee Montoya.
No, Lady Cop.
Oh.
She had her own comic. It was called Lady Cop.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah. I think there's a question about it for the second half thing, so I won't go too far into it, but Lady Cop's in there.
Sure. Why not Aaron Cash or
Aaron Cash, big in the Arkhamverse.
Yep.
Aaron Cash is that cop you keep checking in with. I think he starts as like he works at the asylum, and then he, I think, goes GCPD or whatever. But yeah, Aaron Cash is big in the Arkhamverse. I can tell you if you open the wiki there.
how about Catherine Colby,
You're just going like just down in order now, huh?
Corey Mills,
Yeah.
Curtis Leland.
Dan Turpin, we talked about.
Oh, from Smallville.
I mean, he was on Smallville, but also Dan Turpin is just a wider character from.
Well, yeah, he's first seen helping Detective John Jones catch a recently escaped convict.
Only on Smallville, though.
Yeah, but specifically, that's the version I was talking about.
Yeah,
so.
well, yeah, because that's the one that you had clicked on.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Barry Allen. I mean, and there's a lot of versions of the Riddler that start working for the cops.
Yeah.
Right. You know, they riffed on that in Gotham in the TV show that Enigma worked for the cops or whatever. There's Dino Cop, Crispus Allen, Jim Corrigan, the first host of the Spectre, was a cop.
We don't even do law.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of notable cops. So the O'Dares that I mentioned that are in Opal City that work with,
I prefer the O'Truths.
they work with Starman, the big family of, as Richard would call them, no good Irish cops.
Yeah, exactly. I think I said piece of shit Irish cops, but yeah.
I'm softening it.
Yeah.
You know, there's Director Singh who runs the CCPD.
Mm-hmm.
There's there's lots of cops. If you look for the Maggie Sawyer, we haven't talked about Maggie Sawyer yet, who worked in Metropolis for a long time and then moved to Gotham. She was briefly the commissioner of the GCPD.
Whoa.
She is a romantic interest, or has been a romantic interest rather, of Batwoman, Kate Kane. Maggie Sawyer, huge cop character in DC that we have not talked about yet. And she was like kind of trailblazy because she was a cop character in comics in the 80s. And I think Dan Turpin tries to ask her out or something and realizes she's a lesbian. This is like in the 80s. She was an out lesbian cop character in a comic book.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool shit. Maggie Sawyer's big. And so the fact that we hadn't talked about her till now is pretty bad.
What about a district attorney?
Yeah, I mean, almost certainly lots of people have been named as a district attorney, but how many can I name?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a challenge.
It's usually like, oh, I'm the one that replaced Dent. And you go like, great, we'll never see you again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
There's
I mean, maybe in a story, I'm trying to think, did Kate Spencer ever get to be a DA? I don't think that makes sense.
feels like
But
a
I think
Watchmen
she's-
story, maybe.
But I also think she's mostly a defender.
Or maybe with those Charlton characters, something like that, or Watchmen.
Maybe. Vic Sage is a news guy. Christopher Smith, I think, is a soldier. Ted Kord's a scientist. Dan Garrett was an archaeologist. Yeah, somewhere someone must be. I mean, Plastic Man's first appearance is in a comic book called Police Comics.
Yeah.
You know, like that was a Quality Comics thing, was Police Comics.
District attorneys probably showed up there, yeah.
Almost certainly, and they probably have names, and probably even some of the bigger characters. Maybe one of them has been a district attorney at some point. But can I name them? Were they important as district attorneys?
Have they shown up more than that one time?
Question marks, question marks, question marks.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that was the last question, which you know what time it is.
Oh my God.
It's time to play everyone's favorite game. Can you guess the name of the character based on if someone does not read comic books can describe that character to us?
All right.
I sent a photo of a DC character to my wife who does not read comic books, nor does she care for them, and she sends back 4 clues describing what she sees. The doctor tries to guess who I'm talking about based on those clues.
Baby.
Too much blank check in your mind.
I was listening to Blank Check on the way over here. It was the most insane opening, I think.
Which one?
The Fog.
Oh, did you listen to the Halloween one?
No, I
It's
have
an
to go back and listen.
incredible episode.
I need to go back and
Way
listen
better
to
than the Fog episode. Because they just talk about, because their guest is that insane movie fanatic who knows just as much as they do.
Oh no, I did listen to that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
That's a crazy episode.
The like history of horror they do on that. Like
I did listen to that.
Really,
Sorry,
really
yes,
good
it is
episode.
wild. Yeah.
So 4 clues describing what we see.
Well, what you see.
That's right. Well, I meant me and my wife.
Oh, I see. All right then. I guess I'm just alone again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you ready for your first clue?
sure.
First clue. Well endowed.
Oh, okay. He's got a package.
Well endowed.
Dick Grayson.
No. Then who else could it be?
Next clue.
Ready for the next?
Yeah, I mean, so many of them have hugs. I need more than that. Or unless it's not hugs, maybe it's bazongas.
I'm glad that you're using the scientific terms.
Yeah, it's 1 bazongum and
Yeah.
2 bazonga.
Yeah, that's actually
the Latin pluralization of it.
at our restaurant, Bazongas, though that's the 2 entrances for the bathrooms. It's hogs or bazongas.
So we still don't have gender neutral washrooms.
No,
at
no.
Bazongas.
No. Yeah, because that's the place that it needs to happen first.
Bazongas is really like
Progressive.
actually more progressive
Yeah.
than you think it is.
Yeah.
Power Girl.
No.
'Kay.
Next clue.
Sure.
Could be a Got Milk campaign.
Okay, so like white,
Oh, sorry, wrong image.
white around the mouth. Silver Banshee?
That's who it is.
What?
Yeah.
Is Silver Banshee like notably well endowed? Yeah. All right. That looks like an Allred illustration.
Look at that.
Look at that. Clue number
Holy
2.
shit. It's been a while since you banged it out like that. And that
That's
was
not true. I got the one last week too.
it was an easier one.
Well, no, what even was it? But I got it too.
Something Wart.
Brother Worf.
Yeah, Brother Worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other clues were
I'm empowered by the Canadian Podcast
Guest
Awards.
That's right. Yeah. The other clues were Bride of Frankenstein hair
Sure.
and Skeleton Storm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Silver Banshee. Yeah, baby.
Holy shit. God, I hate when you get it that quickly.
Woo! Still got it. Looks like I'm still the doctor.
All right. For this week. We'll see if I can get through those next week.
I don't see how you will. They're still all in your quote unquote system.
We're going to get together and redo this, okay?
Yes. Please.
Yeah.
Please. Let me fix you. Your collection. Let me fix your collection.
That will guide you home.
Don't put Superman right there. 'Cause I will try to... Don't fucking touch it. Fix you.
We're going to have another comic book sleepover.
Yeah.
My wife has been asking for that.
Has she?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like, not for me to go there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah.
enough. That's very funny.
well, did you somehow get the clue as quick as the doctor? I don't see how.
Probably not. Watch and learn.
What I love about you is that the like amount, your confidence, like the peaks and valleys you can hit in a moment's notice.
It's a massive amount of confidence, but it hangs by a thread.
Just like the slightest breeze could ruin it.
Why would you say that? What do you mean?
Yeah, I am a piece of shit.
What did my wife tell you? No.
It happens to every guy
Oh.
that they shit through their pants.
I didn't shit through my pants. That's not what happened. I went home because I don't like taking shits at the office because I take big, nasty shits and I respect my place of work and my coworkers. So I went home because my tummy was hurting because I knew something bad was going to happen. I went home and I took a giant shit and a lot of it was blood. And
What?
then I dealt with that and then I kept working from
Not
home.
really though, right?
I mean, maybe I might be slightly overselling by saying a lot of it
Oh,
was blood.
no,
but
God,
like
you do need to go to the
decent amount of it was blood.
Oh my God. Are you
Why?
okay?
How much is supposed to be blood?
None.
What?
None blood.
What?
None blood.
None blood?
None blood.
I definitely have more than none.
That's one more than you should have.
Oh, I've got more than one more.
Oh, no. No, that's bad. That's not good.
Really?
Are you okay?
Yeah. At first, I had to check and like remind myself: did I eat like beet hummus? And then I was like, no,
Like, was it so big that it ripped you from the
I
inside?
didn't feel that. But
I
maybe
mean,
I just
yeah.
don't anymore.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm worried.
Gentlemen.
I'm genuinely concerned. We'd like to hear from you as long as the doctor's still here next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Send us a question for next week's episode.
Yeah, next week's episode, we're having a returning guest come back. Zach Becerra is coming back and joining
That's
us.
right.
And we're talking resurrections.
Holy shit.
There's all sorts of those in DC. So send your questions about resurrections.
Any erection I love. Oh, wait. Oh, God.
This
I
is
saw
a
what I did.
Very dangerous compound.
I'm
word.
stepping away. I'm stepping away.
Put the joke
I
down
don't want it. You
Put
can
it
have
down.
it. I don't have it.
and kick the joke over to
Here,
me.
you can have it. I don't want it anymore. Like a restaurant reservation.
Good. Yeah. Bazongas.
That's the erection I get from Bazongas. Saved it. Fucking flawless.
Yeah. Welcome to Bazongas, where the tits are out and you can use whichever bathroom you feel more comfortable with.
Yeah. Look, we've split them in only 2 options, but you can really use any.
You could use either one. It's 2021. By the way, tits.
Do you have a hog? Are you interested in hogs? Would you like a hog? Any option here, you're allowed.
I love the idea of a very progressive place that hangs on to one really scummy old style thing. It's like, listen, we just love to look at tits, but like, be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are who you are. Love is love.
Love is love is love.
Love is love. That's why I know I love tits.
Yeah.
Bazongas.
Would you like your jiggle juice?
The jiggle juice. I just ordered a milk, man.
If you don't want to call it what it is.
Hey, what's good here? I'd get the milk.
Yeah. Right from the source.
Make it at the table.
You got to go there. The family style is what you really want.
Jesus Christ. Have we ever done this joke on the main feed before, or are we pulling Patreon jokes and dropping them in here?
It very might be possible.
Oh, God.
I don't even know anymore. We
Our upscale Hooters restaurant?
yeah. The lines have blurred between all of the podcasts.
That's true. But yes.
That's from me, Vomp Pareto.
Vomp Pareto. Send your resurrections questions.
To our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our Twitter,
At Dr. DC.
or Titter when you're at Bazongas. Instagram.
More like it's the mammogram. Dr. DC Podcast. I'm so sorry.
email. No, thank you.
Send it to our female.
Yeah, there it is.
DrDCpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. Reddit.
No thanks.
I'd rather feel it.
Oh no, no, too far. We don't. No. r/Dr_DC.
There it is. Ooh.
Bazonga's on the brain.
The doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
That's 208-917-DCEU.
If you
got
nasty.
bazongas.
Yeah.
And go to our website.
DrDCpodcast.com.ca.
Give us 5-star reviews. We got one at the beginning of this episode. If you want to make an entire podcast about us, I mean, that is definitely preferred.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Quit your job. Just start screaming about how great we are downtown.
Can we have an after show podcast? Can someone make that?
What a bad podcast.
I like the part where they talked about bazongas.
Yeah.
I think
Let's break this down.
Yeah.
We haven't heard bazongas since.
that was actually on the other stream. That was on the pay stream.
So
So
does it work like a regular after show where once in a while we're on it to comment on the episode we did?
yeah, when it hit me like bazongas to the face. I'm going to be completely honest.
Listen, when inspiration hits, you gotta suck on that inspiration nip.
Oh no.
You gotta get the sweet inspiration out of the
You need it enough, it'll come through.
conceptual bazonga.
So yeah, do that. I love that.
I can't believe we won.
Mr.
I
Minister.
can't believe we. Oh God! If there's a minister listening to us,
Maybe the premiere.
oh, we're never gonna work in this town again.
Your wife worked pretty close with them.
Oh no! I know. I told her to stop telling people what I do because it's like I appreciate that you're proud of me and I love that, but like I can't have high-ranking government officials listen to this show
There, I think already has been.
because I'm clearly not getting better.
Yeah, no, we're getting worse. In so many ways, apparently. You're supposed to unwrap things before you eat them, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'm just.
I just also eat the wrapping.
Oh, I
separately.
thought, yeah, that defeats the purpose. Why not just eat through the
It's
wrapping?
a chaser.
Oh God. You can send us some physical mail.
Yeah, 301 Hogue Street, Hoge Street, Whitehorse, Yukon, Y1A1V8.
You can send it either to Richard Eden or Reed Vanier.
Yeah.
And if you want even more content from us,
Yeah, go over to the Patreon.
yeah, help blur those lines for you too.
Yeah, patreon.com/DrDC.
That's right, baby.
We've got 3 levels. They start at $1. All the levels get you access to the Discord, our awesome fan community. It's a ton of fun over there. There's always lots of discussions and
Yeah.
stupid shit and all sorts of good stuff happening there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ton of fun. And at the higher levels, you get bonus episodes every week. You get videos about stuff that either of us are reading.
Yeah.
You get theme polls, help decide what an episode each month is about, all sorts of stuff. And all of that money helps support us and keep us doing what we're doing.
Definitely.
And frankly, we should really up the rates now that we're award winners.
Yes. Speaking of being the best, we have another podcast that's
That did
actually
not win.
that somehow is actually more successful.
It's better and more successful, but did not win.
Because karma. I don't know.
Ghost Facers, a Supernatural rewatch. We are going through every single episode of CW Supernatural. We are about halfway through season 3 right now.
I like somebody with on the doc squad was like, I remember that episode of like the third time you talked about Supernatural where you said, well, there's too many episodes. We can't do them one by one.
I know. I know.
Shows us.
I know. Look at me now. But yeah, check it out. We talk about real world monster lore, behind the scenes stuff about the episodes. It's a ton of fun.
That's right. So, Ghost Facers, a Supernatural rewatch. Oh, yeah, baby. That is it for this week.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.
Bazongas.